My name is Stefano Sesia, and this is the video demonstration of my fourth year project, revolving around the importance of distributed active detection for the protection of critical systems against polymorphic attack vectors. This work is based on the research and development described in my dissertation. For more extensive details, please refer to integral schemas presented in the paper. This video will demonstrate the attack capabilities of the developed polymorphic virus named Chimera, which not only uses normal mutating techniques, but uses a tailored component, the exploit and payload, whose source code changes for each different target. While showing vulnerable machines successfully being attacked by Chimera, the video will also show the work of our defensive actor, Bellerophon, and its ability in detecting compromised systems. Before starting the demonstration, it should be noted that this experiment runs on a self-contained and segregated environment. In this way, all our nodes are on the same subnetwork and have no access to other machines around them. Packet capturing and extensive logging was also run along with this experiment for data to be collected, analyzed, and presented in the paper. The following is a screen capture of one of the last simulations run, with the two command and control servers terminal windows open on the left, the two Agora systems bound to be infected on the top right, and the two honeypot sentinels on the bottom right. The logs have been set to verbose for us to be able to understand which phase they are on. The video might be sped up at times, but the red timer on the top right of the screen will give the viewer a proper view of the time passing. Focusing on the command and control, we see how executing the first stage of the virus starts the infection. The Spark of Chimera will soon produce a report on all potential targets on this network, for the server to then generate the second stage. This report is obfuscated and sent to the command and control, which, as we can see, parses it and for each target analyzes the open ports. Running these against its internal vulnerability database, it will generate custom attack vectors, selecting an exploit and a payload from the Metasploit library. Recursive attempts will then be made at compromising further systems on the network. An instance of Metasploit is running in the background. Every time the command and control generates a second stage attempt, this Metasploit console reads the generated resource file, compiles, obfuscates, and executes the attack. It is normal for it to fail a few times in the beginning, as its strength is in fact in the many combination of exploits it can generate to use as attacks. Let's now focus on the detection of this polymorphic threat as operated by Bellerophon. The two deployed honeypots have registered to the command and control, which in turn calculated the majority threshold of 50% plus one of the sentinels. Each sentinel then detected attacks on port 445 and casted their voids. Even in such an early stage, we already have detected an infected system. Now, going back to the malicious command and control, we can notice how a number of unsuccessful attempts have been made. We then leave the environment to autonomously keep attacking and monitoring the network. After a few attempts, Chimera manages to select the right exploit and gain control of Agora 1. As soon as the shell is obtained, Chimera automatically escalates the privileges and communicates the successful event to its command and control. It then downloads and executes a new compiled and obfuscated version of stage 1, and finally adds the compromised host to its Metasploit routes. Adding the exploited machine to the Metasploit routing table is very important for this kind of virus. Doing so will allow all the future attacks to be proxied through one of the compromised hosts. As we can see in the screen, in fact, one subsequent attack is being routed through the Metasploit session on 192.168.56.07, which we exploited before, making it easier for an attack to avoid firewall and intrusion detection systems. The payload used in the experiment is simply a confirmation of the correct exploitation of a target. In our case, the compromised machine connects to the command and control server and sends a flag, which, as we can see here, gets verified and the compromised host added to a list. In the real world, this could be replaced with a way more dangerous payload that could provoke serious damages in critical infrastructure, as it happened with Stuxnet in 2008. To conclude, we can see all of the automatically generated variants of the virus being logged for analysis. At the end, the experimental virus managed to automatically exploit both target virtual machines, and the antivirus managed to instantaneously detect all infections and all exploitation attempts. The obfuscated attack vectors generated would have not triggered mainstream antiviral solutions and common intrusion detection systems, but were successfully detected by Bellerophon. This experiment sheds a light on how sophisticated attack vector works, and how they are able to write themselves and integrate a degree of polymorphism able to evade normal security measures. As the paper suggests, there is a clear need for introducing distributed active detection systems, similar to Bellerophon, in the current intrusion detection systems. This study is based on solid ethical motivations, and while generating a threat with experimental effects that could be correlated to real-world scenarios, this did not aim at creating a dangerous, advanced, persistent threat. I do hope the academic and professional InfoSec community will take my study further and develop a solid protection against such attacks based on technology similar to Bellerophon.